Hey everybody, good morning to all of you. Happy Sunday to all of you. I'm so happy that I was able to bring the two rescues from Tapachula I say I because physically I brought them, but we brought them. I brought them with the help of people who watched all this and just helped to make this happen because there's so much need out there. And so it's really frustrating and saddening to see the situation of these hundreds of neglected animals in the city of Chiapas and of Tapachula. And the reason why is because it says somebody wants to be on my video. Myron Gibson. Send me a message and let me know. I don't know if you did that by mistake, but if you want to be on my video, I'm about people having a voice. I'm about giving people a voice, which is what I feel President Trump did, and the reason why I got involved, because I felt like I didn't have a voice and he gave me one. So I'm always about truth, and I'm about giving people a voice. So if you want to be on the video and you have something specific that you want to talk about, and that's the reason why you are requesting to be on the video, let me know. Send me a message to the page now, and let me know what your what your concern is, or what the issue is, why you want to be on the video. So the survey is about this, and I know Georgette is one of these people. For a couple years, you guys watched me being majorly attacked and slandered by two people who were absolutely disgusting, right? One of them, her name is Cindy Gomez Shemp, and her husband is Duke Gomez Shemp, right? Many of you wondered who these people were. We know they're Democrats. We know their stance as far their, we know their political stance. We know their hate against President Trump. But at the time, it had nothing to do with politics. At the time, it had everything to do with me. Many of you watch these never-ending attacks, this never-ending terrorism take place for about a year and almost 2 years. I got several messages from many of you asking me to take action, asking me to do something, asking me to stop them. It didn't take long for me to figure out that deported drug trafficker Oscar Oblu was behind these attacks. It took a while for many others to figure it out. So the survey is, how many of you watched this take place? And I know Georgette was one of them, one of the ones that has written me hundreds of messages asking me to take action. In fact, to the point of saying, Paloma, I will no longer follow you unless you take action against these people. How many of you watched these attacks? How many of you watched in absolute frustration, knowing they were lying, knowing they were full of shit, basically, knowing that it was all fabricated, knowing that they were colluding with one another, knowing that Mary Tando Quintanilla is an absolute liar and a criminal, right? Knowing that you did, Robert, thank you so much. Knowing that she was lying, especially when I provided the evidence, such as when she said that I went to Las Vegas with some pimp, or, knowing that her statements were basically frivolous, How many of you watched her? How many of you watched all the others in absolute frustration, wanting to do something, wanting to take some action, and we were unable to? Why? Because they would block anybody who would try to comment on their videos. Their moderator, Nima, would block anybody who would try to comment, anybody to try to, refute their claims. How many of you watch knowing that I'm not an animal abuser, that I'm the complete opposite from that? How many of you watched in frustration, wishing something could be done about this to stop them, knowing that that they were lying, which is why they went from thousands of views to 0 views. So the survey is basically just that. How many of you watched it, contacted me? I mean, I had people literally tell me, Paloma, unless you take action against these people, I will not follow you anymore. I won't follow you because I'm so frustrated to watch them attack you and you not doing anything about it. I can't follow you anymore. I literally got messages like that. So now, guys, see, but what I used to tell you then was this: be patient. Everything will sort itself out. Remember, I used to tell you that? Remember, Georgette, I used to tell you, please don't take this too personal. They will end up paying for what they've done. It's been now, since this nightmare started, it's been almost 3 years. And I told you, I mean, sometimes things take time. I have spent the last 2.5 years becoming a more prepared, educated individual, mostly because I want to make a difference at a bigger level, more than just an activist level. I'm still an activist, but I'm more than just an activist now. Now I'm a congressional candidate who is actually being attacked by a Democratic incumbent, which again, based on basic logic, based on basic political campaign 101, no incumbent would attack me this early on unless he or she felt I was a threat. And we know that the political climate in America right now, in the world, but mostly in America right now, is very radical and ever-changing and unpredictable more than anything. We're at a time where we're being forced to inject a substance into our body to be able to go into a gym or a restaurant, guys. And so we are at a very, very historic point in time when it comes to politics. And what that means is that we just don't know what the future holds when it comes to elections, when it comes to people elected into office. And somehow, without knowing that, I have been getting ready for that for the last 2.5 years. I knew that I wanted to make a difference at a bigger level. I knew that I wanted to go from, move on from doing street rallies or attending rallies or doing public speeches. No, I want to do more. There's a lot more that I want to do. And even though I'm just getting started, this is just the beginning of my journey as a voice for the people, which is what politicians should be. Politicians should be a voice for the people. It's not a job for themselves. It's not profit for themselves. It's a voice for their constituents and for us, for the rest of America. So anyway, that's where I'm at right now. So that's why I told you a couple years ago, please be patient. Please be patient. I'm not going to waste my time now going back and forth, arguing with these people, or spending time and money suing people, and dealing with these distractions, which is what they became. With the distractions that they were, the obstacles and distractions that they were throwing in front of me, so that I wouldn't do anything else. I got messages from some of their contributors and associates saying, we will keep you busy. We will drag you from court to court for the next 2 years, and you won't be able to get anything done. And unfortunately for them, it didn't work out. Unfortunately for them, I was able to go from court to court to court for 2 years from the privacy of my home due to the pandemic. Unfortunately for them, all it really became was experience, was legal and life experience from the comfort of my homes. Whether it be from LA or from Tijuana or from Valle de Bravo or from anywhere I was at, I was able to face them and defeat them from the comfort of my privacy in my homes. And not only that, but come out much, much stronger and experienced legally and also in life, which only prepared me to do more. So I ask all of you who watched, which I know, Lucinda, you're also one of them. The survey is, how many of you watched me being attacked by these criminals and sat in frustration watching it, knowing that you couldn't do anything about it? And when you tried, they blocked you. They took away your First Amendment, which was your freedom of speech. How many of you tried telling them off and defending me and sticking up for me, and they denied you that right, and they took away that right from you? Your most basic constitutional right, they took it away from you. You sure did. Thank you, Lucinda. How many of you for the last 2.5 years sat there and again, in frustration, knowing that I'm not this disgusting criminal, prostitute, pedophile, human trafficker, arsonist, thief, fraud, pendeja, as they called me so many times, that they wanted to make you think I was? How many of you watched both sides and knew they were full of crap, but there was nothing you could do about it? Well, I told you to be patient. I told you everything would work out. Why? Because I let God take control at the time. And God was telling me to not focus on them and focus on becoming a more prepared individual, a better person, to get ready for a bigger fight, which is what I did. And now, maybe, some of that time has come. Now that I'm in a different place, projecting, that's what they do. That's what they do. That's why Oscar accused me of being some sort of trafficker, because he knew his drug trafficking past would eventually surface. Remember, he tried accusing me of being a human trafficker. He knew he was a drug trafficker, and he knew it would eventually surface. He knew the records would eventually surface. Accused me of prostitution. Now we know that he's a prostitute. Now we know that he sleeps with different clients at hotels for money. And I have the receipts. I have the Western Union receipts. And also the text messages where he's sexting with these women. But that's what he was accusing me of. Show me one receipt where somebody pays me for any sort of prostitution. Show me one receipt of a sexting message with anybody who I'm not either in love with. I mean, not that there is any out there. I'm just saying, if I ever did that, it would be with someone I'm in love with, or who I'm in a deep romantic relationship with. Not some patriot on social media whom I'm trying to extract money from. Show me the receipts, because you don't have any. Show me your ample evidence of my ties to human traffickers and terrorists in the city of Tijuana. You don't have any. Show me your proof of me burning down some house. You don't have any. Show me your proof of me being some sort of pedophile. You don't have any. Show me your proof of me embezzling money from people, because I have the complete opposite when it comes to that. I have evidence of the complete opposite. Show me the evidence of every slanderous, defamatory statement you've ever made against me, Oscar El Blue, and his buddy, Detective Tamales, also known as Cindy Gomez-Schemp. Tamales, show me your evidence. Show me your evidence of me sharing revenge porn. Because as far as I know, the charges that were frivolously filed against me have been withdrawn. Show me your evidence. Show me your evidence of me destroying some marriage. Because as far as I know, that man has not only been convicted of his crimes, he's pending many more criminal charges, as well as a major civil lawsuit, which will take everything he owns. Show me your evidence. You don't have any. So how many of you, oh, thank you, Dan. You're so sweet. You bought a hat for me and the order came very quickly. Good quality. Thank you. How many of you sat there in frustration watching this criminal hate group? Not only on the Tamales show, but the never-ending attacks over the last 3 years on their hate pages. We know who's behind them. We know it's you, Oscar. We know it's you, Anthony. We know it's you, Tamales. We know it's you, Mr. Tamales, also known as Duke Gomez-Shemp. We know it's you. We know it's you, Mary. We know it's you, Amy. We know it's you, Michael. We know. We're not dumb. And everybody else who you've recruited to join your criminal conspiracy. This is just the beginning. This is me just having fun. I told you this day would come. You didn't believe me. I told you there were circumstances surrounding me that made it impossible for me to deal with this appropriately. But the circumstances have changed. See, that's a funny thing about life. It's all about circumstances. For some people anyway. They are for me. It is for me. It's all about circumstances. Sometimes my life doesn't make sense because of the circumstances. I'm wearing this jacket for a reason today. Because they're going to go crazy about it. And see, they don't understand. They see, if they really had even half a brain, they would understand how strategic things have been. They walked right into them. They walked right into our defeating strategies, either in court or online through social media. You walked right into them. You had a group attacking me. You had a gang attacking me, gang stalking me. And you're down to fake accounts and fake pages. That's all you have. You can't even attack me with your own accounts on Facebook anymore. Because you're terrified of my strategies and what I've done to you after you came out and attacked me on behalf of Oscar Fernando Ramirez Delgado, also known as Oscar Oblu. Because you're terrified of the consequences to your crimes. And that's what criminals do. Criminals get other criminals. Criminals recruit other people and turn them into criminals. Or criminals recruit other criminals. So that's why after people are felons, they're really not supposed to even hang out together. There's a reason for that. In fact, Oscar and Anthony should not even legally be able to hang out. They're both felons. As far as I know, felons are not supposed to collaborate, associate, or anything. Oh my God, I just got another message. Breaking news, the caravan walks again. Breaking news, the caravan is moving. Breaking news, the caravan is walking. Breaking news, the caravan is in Tapachula. Breaking, like, oh, but you have to keep donating to this guy, right? Because of the breaking news. Get a job, man. Seriously, get a job. There are jobs here in Tijuana. In a couple of years, you could be making, enough money to support your family and yourself. This isn't going to last that long for you. Everybody's going to know who you are. You want to attack me by using the Mexican media? How do you think that's going to work out for you? Making stuff up with the Mexican media. I didn't say anybody was going to beat you up. You're lying once again. I didn't say anybody was going to beat you up. I called you a piece of crap because you are a piece of crap. And that's my right. That's my freedom of speech. Mi libertad de expresión. I didn't say anybody was going to assault you. 7 to 10 men were going to assault you. No, you had a group of people attack me. You had an entire list of people come after me. Except I don't like to do things online, as you saw in Tapachula, Mexico. I don't like to hide behind the screen. The only reason why I make these videos, and I don't like to hide behind fake pages either. The only reason why I make these videos is to communicate with others what's happening. I would much rather do this in person, but that's why you walked away, like the coward that you are. And just like you had 10 people come after me on social media and online through the internet, which should never be done. If you have something to say, you should say it to somebody's face, especially if it's not true. He's always running. You will be confronted by at least 7 to 10 people. Mark my words. I didn't say anybody was going to beat you up. Stop lying, as Anthony would say. Stop lying. Stop lying. I never threatened any sort of physical violence. You had Darlene, you had Mary, you had Christine, you had Harim, Alexa. How many people did you have assault me? How many people did you have criminally harass me on social media, aside from the ones that actually showed their faces? You don't think it's fair that 7 to 10 people, men, confront you and ask you about it in person so that you give us some answers? I think it's fair. I think it's only fair. And see, I'm not calling for any physical violence. I'm just calling for the truth. And what that will do is it will expose you in Tapachula. And it will expose you to your audience. It will expose your crimes. It will expose you to those people who have been donating to you while you lie to them and you tell them you stand with them as a nationalist. You're not a nationalist. You're an opportunist, which is a lot different. 3 years ago, you didn't know if you wanted to be a 30, 40-year-old something boxer or a commentator. You didn't know. You were confused. But when I went viral at the border, you decided you wanted to get into politics. And somehow I became your target. So anyway, the survey is, how many of you watched his attacks for over 2 years in absolute disgust and frustration and anger to know there was nothing we could do to stop them, because the police in America, they don't really do much about it, unfortunately. Leave your comments below, because I know there's many of you. And as I told you, things will work themselves out, and they will. He had many people come at me. 10 of them showed their faces. And he will have the same amount of people confront him and ask him why. And if he considers that a threat, and if he considers that to be a physical violence threat, then it just probably means that the drugs that he trafficked for years really affected his brain. You will have to answer to why you did what you did, because many of us, hundreds of us, tried asking you on social media, tried commenting on your criminal videos, and you blocked every single one of us. So now we know we can't handle it on social media because you block us. How many of you were blocked by Tamales and Mr. Tamales? Probably many of you. You took away our freedom of speech. But you can hide behind the screen. You can hide on social media, but you can't hide in person. And you won't be able to. And the media, the local media will know who you are. The national media will know who you are. And you're just going to make me go viral if that's what you really want. What are you going to accuse me of? Confronting you? Questioning you for the smear campaign you ran against me? I'm not stupid. I'm not going to assault you. My people aren't going to assault you. We're not dumb. We know how weak you are. We know how little it takes to make you go crazy. We know how vulnerable you are because of all the things you hide. You have to uphold an image. I don't. I just have to be myself. You live off donations. I don't. So you have an image to take care of and a reputation to keep getting these donations. I don't. When people start finding out how you side with the leaders of the caravan while you're scamming money from them, they're not going to donate to you anymore. What are you going to do? Do more santeria on me? Threaten me more? Where do you think this is going to end? I told you this would happen eventually. But you felt so safe, just like for years you felt so safe trafficking drugs and thinking you would never get caught. How did that work out? Anyway, bye guys. Take care, everybody. Got to get to work with my doggies. And don't slander me. Your reporter friend for this Diario del Sur will soon hear from attorneys. And they're going to have to provide evidence of their claims about me assaulting you and threatening you, which I never did. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.